Thank you for joining us today. We are looking at the evidence in the Bible, the framework that shows that we are in the last days. This video is part 2. The other video went a little too long, so I had to cut it short. So let's begin and get through this quickly. We are looking at the framework of the Word of God. The Word of God is actually the framework for the worlds. It says the worlds were framed by the Word of God in Hebrew 11:3. And the worlds there are the eons, not the planets. These are the eons that are framed by the Word of God, just like a house frame. When you see this house fully built, you can recognize it just from the framework. We could tell how many windows it has and where they're at. We can see the placement of the doors. We can, if you walked in and walked through the house, you could also see where the bedrooms and the bathrooms are located. From the framework, you can recognize when the house is fully built. And that is what the Word of God does. It frames the worlds, the ages themselves have been framed, and the last days has been framed. And we have seen through many videos, many examples of this framework. So I'm going to go really quickly over what we went over last time. Just very quickly, we saw that the land, the USA, the land, the world, in fact, has been covered by electric vines. And those vines are all the way into our houses, completely wrapping us up. We are attached to that vine. It is all around our world. In fact, it is the foundation for our world. It has become the cornerstone of our world. Our images, our movies, our music, our money is held in just charged particles. It is the cornerstone of our civilization, and it is the light of our world. It is what Christ ought to be. Christ ought to be the true vine. Christ ought to be the light of the world, the foundation, the cornerstone. That is Christ. But in these days, we have built another vine. And while we have remained in that vine, we have produced much fruit. Fruit, devices literally called fruit, called apple. We have built them, and we are the branches in that vine because we have attached this fruit to the vine. We are the branches in the vine. It is a false vine, though Christ is the true vine. In John 15 it says, I am the vine, ye the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me you can do nothing. And that is what we have become. We have become the branches in this vine. This vine has become our light. It has become our cornerstone. It has become our foundation, the world that we built upon it. And we are the branches in this vine. We have produced much fruit, but without this vine, we can do nothing. We can do nothing without this vine, just as it says about Christ, because this we have done in like manner. We have done in like manner to the truth. And that is what they did in Exodus. They did in like manner as they resisted Moses and Aaron. Aaron cast down the rod, it became a serpent. And so the magicians of Egypt did in like manner with their enchantments, and they cast down their rods, and they too became serpents. And we can see from the word in 2 Timothy that is what is going to happen in the last days. That is part of the framework for the last days. It says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. And you go down to verse 8, and it describes it. It says, now, as Jannes and Jambres withstood Moses, so do these also resist the truth. These are the people of the last days, and they are resisting the truth as Jannes and Jambres withstood Moses. And we have seen this even in the history books, as it said that there would be 400 years that God's people would spend in a land not theirs. And we see that in our time as well. Christopher Columbus bringing the name of Christ to a land not theirs. 400 years later, we got the World's Columbian Exposition, where large-scale electricity was unveiled on the world, and they built the Magic City. They built the Magic City, and they had a giant statue with a rod in its hand, as if ready to cast down, because they were resisting the truth. This was the framework put in the Word of God, plainly seen all around us. And in the history books, electrical wizards is what they were called. Tesla, wizard. Edison, wizard. That is what they actually called him, because that is what they were doing, was resisting the truth. And God put it in their hearts to fulfill his word. And that's why we see all this stuff, because it is the writing on the wall to us. It is the sign to us that we are in the last days. And the vine they built is the vine of Sodom. For their vine, of the vine of Sodom and of the fields of Gomorrah, their grapes of gall, their clusters bitter. Their vine, of the vine of Sodom and of the fields of Gomorrah. And it says their clusters are bitter. And when we look at the word bitter, it is marora. It is the the Hebrew word, marora, which is translated as poison. And our devices are running on poison. They are literally running on poison. The operating system for the fruit on the end of that vine, the Apple devices, some of the fruit, some of the most popular fruit on the end of that vine runs on poison. iOS is the Greek word eos. iOS is the Greek word eos, which occurs in the Bible 3 times. 2 times it is translated poison. Those devices on the end of the vine are literally running on poison. This is part of the framework of the end times, and we can see it with our eyes right now. It is literally running on poison. It is confirming the Word of God right before us. The framework for the Word of God is fulfilled right in front of us. We can see the writing on the wall. It is before our eyes. And the Word of God said it would be like that. It specifically said that the iOS would be a witness against them. The poison on the end of their vine would be a witness. And we see that in James 5:3. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the devices have gold and silver in them. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you. It says the rust of them will be a witness against you. And this word is translated rust here. This word is iOS. The word rust is actually the Greek word eos, which is translated poison in the 2 other times. It is translated rust here in the context of gold and silver. And when you look at it, when you see what we just saw, that our devices run on the iOS, our devices run on eos. They run on poison. And the Bible said that the fruit on the end of the vine would be poison. It would be bitter. And we have just seen it. And it has fulfilled the Word of God in our eyes. It has fulfilled it right here, because it says the iOS of them shall be a witness against you. The iOS of them was just 1 minute ago a witness against the people of this days. It has fulfilled the Word of God. It has put the framework right before our eyes so that we can see that we are in the last days. The writing is on the wall, and we can see it all around us. We can see that the devices are literally running on poison. We can see that their vine opposes the truth. It is their vine, and they are the branches in that vine, and they have produced much fruit in that vine, and their fruit is literally eos. It is literally running on poison. And the Bible said that the rust of them, the eos of them, will be a witness against you. And if you noticed at the end of that verse, it says, ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. And that is indeed what they have done. They have heaped treasure together for the last days. And we can see it all around us because the writing is on the wall for our generation. And this proves without a doubt that the Word of God is absolutely true. It proves without a doubt that Jesus Christ is coming soon. It proves all these things right before your eyes. So thank you for watching this video. And please, you can see my other videos on signoffire.com or on yeshuaiscoming.com. So please like this video, subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Until next time, God bless.